I want to hear what MAGA Incorporated says. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Before we talk about the president, let's talk about another conservative rock star, Karoline Leavitt, who is the MAGA Incorporated spokeswoman. Karoline, give me a high five. I'll tell you what, you are awesome.
You're so awesome. This is so awesome. You're awesome. Everybody gets a free tumbler. I mean, have you had a chance to try the salad and cake combo?
You've done some great things for our country.
Salad and cake. I'm not kidding. That's just salad and cake. Is that what that is? Cool.
Talk to us.
Or is that a slice of beet? I don't know.
About the president and how you're feeling right now.
Sure. Well, I'm very excited. We are all very excited to welcome the president back to the Granite State because he's going to win this New Hampshire primary for the third time. There's a lot of enthusiasm behind those doors. People are excited to hear from him. He's been giving, I think, really impressive speeches lately.
To smaller and smaller crowds. I don't think he's losing support so much as his support is becoming more selective.
And more than any other candidate in this Republican primary, he's been rolling out tangible policy solutions to the issues that we are seeing here in New Hampshire and all across this country.
Yes, like quick trials, Chinese-style justice for drug dealers if they turn out to be innocent later on. Oops, sucks to be you. It's going to be the Sucks to Be You Act of Trump 2024.
Because of Joe Biden's abysmal, disastrous agenda. Donald Trump's Agenda 47 plan is strong. He wants to bring the death penalty to drug dealers.
Wow, right out of the gate, what'd I say? Holy shit. Like, what if they turn out not, what if they're innocent later? What if exculpatory evidence comes in maybe 6 months later? They're, what, just worm meat, I guess, is
largest mass deportation operation in America.
The largest mass deportation. We're going to just scoop everybody up and kick them out of the country. If they turn out to not even speak Spanish and have been born here, I mean, basically, giant water slide, everybody brown gets on it.
American history, banning gender mutilation surgeries, banning men and women's sports. These are solutions that the American people are desperate for right now. And
yes, we're desperate for that. We're all clamoring. The other day I need to pick. I went to a pharmacy to pick up some cold medication, and this guy wanted to staple my dick underneath. He goes, it's part of the transition. I was like, but I'm not even trans. It doesn't matter. It's Joe Biden's America. Do you want a regular metal staple, or do you want we have rainbow staples if you'd like one? I was like, well, if I have to, I guess.
That's why you see Donald Trump is beating everyone else in the field by 40 points right now. Here,
not so much. He's at 40 points in the Republican Party. That's right. He's currently winning half of his own party.
In the Granite State and in every state across this country.
And speaking of other candidates, Mr. DeSantis down the road in Hollis, New Hampshire, it's kind of like, come on, really?
Yeah.
Come on, like, what are you doing? I mean, you tried? Like, what? Do you even MAGA, bro? I mean, honestly.
I heard it's a weak crowd in a pretty poor-looking venue.
Yeah, they don't have the sweet cucumber shaved carrot combo that we have here with the slice of the wedge of. It's a turd. I think it's a turd at this point with a. I'm just gonna go that those are turds. It's no big deal. It's just a turd. It's a turd with a toothpick in it because you don't want to. If that's stuck in there, you want to get in there and get it out.
Ron DeSantis continues to drop like a rock here in the first in the nation primary state. I'll tell you why, because I am from this state. He showed up a few times. He talks about Florida, doesn't talk about New Hampshire, doesn't take questions from voters, and snaps at reporters. That's not the New Hampshire way. You got to shake hands.
It isn't? Sorry, you don't think Trump snaps at reporters? Anyways.
Especially if you're a governor from another state. Why are you coming here and not talking about the problems that the people of New Hampshire are facing?
I don't know. Trump comes there and talks about his problems.
Donald Trump has such a deep connection with the Republican base that he
basically, when he's talking about his own problems, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, I'm allergic to. There's something. I think it's something that's on the table or something like that. What is? It's hello bullshit.
DeSantis has no chance at trying to take that away from what Donald Trump has done for the people of New Hampshire and securing our border, reinvesting in our domestic energy production.
Wait, you're securing the New Hampshire border? Jesus Christ. People from Vermont are monsters.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you. By the way, thanks for the blessings, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Trump sucks. And he's dug his own political and legal grave. And it's fun to watch.
At the end of the day, Donald Trump is a real guy. I think that's why everybody really likes him.
It's so true. And
He's so real. He's like real. Like you can see him when he's there. You're like, oh my God, is he an idol? And I'm like, nope, he's sweating. He's real. Look at that orange stuff is leaking onto his collar. And his hair's real weird.
He's speaking on stage, and that's one of the things I'm going to highlight. The largest difference between Donald Trump and anyone else in this field, but especially Joe Biden right now, right, is that Donald Trump
is his cholesterol?
Trump was a billionaire businessman who gave all of that up to fight.
Okay. You either have to, if you say billionaire businessman with Donald Trump, you either have to put a TM next to it, put it in air quotes, or make it a hashtag, because none of it, then it doesn't have to be true. You can just say it.
Fight for the people in this room today. Joe Biden spent a career in public service, became
what a terrible notion. A career in public service. Ew.
A millionaire by ripping off the people in this room today.
He did? What, did they all buy his book? How many copies did they buy?
That's the major difference. And I think...
What did he do? Did he come to New Hampshire to the Lilac Luncheon, talk to all the Republicans, go, the evidence is in my book. There are golden ticket copies that have the evidence in them, but you have to buy. It doesn't count. You find it, go find it. And they were like, oh, shit. And they all went out and bought his book. And like, there's no evidence in here. Just really touching stories about his family and his kid.
A lot of everyday Americans who don't pay attention to the news so much. They're running their businesses. They're raising their families. But the one thing they do know is that they hate their life right now. And they want some salad and a turd and a little tumbler with Republican Party of New Hampshire and a plastic American flag made in China. We're starting to realize how corrupt this current administration is. And
they're just starting to realize? Well, if they keep realizing, I suppose they'll, what do you think? By sometime in 2025, they'll go like, oh my God, I just fully realized.
It is really fearing a lot of people.
It is really fearing a lot of people. I'm very feared. Are you guys afeared? It is true. Obviously, he not only does Trump have the best words, he has people who work for him who have the best words and are the best
so
people.
Much. They're running their businesses, they're raising their families, but they are starting to realize how corrupt this current administration is, and it is really fearing a lot of people.
Yeah, no, she's crazy. She is totally nuts.
What?
And people are realizing we need Donald Trump back in that White House.
I was just
no. No, they aren't.
Just talking about the seriousness of the situation in our country.
Yeah.
I want to hear it from you. Really, what is your...
Yeah, I was just talking about it, but I don't even remember what I said because I work for Newsmax or RSBN, so I'm constantly like blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the last time I even said something good about the country. Shit.
How serious is the situation in this nation for our Constitution?
You don't know? You don't know? Why are you asking her, asshole? What? You don't know? Look around you. This is how bad things are. You're about to have dinner less than 50 feet from Donald Trump, and everyone gets a turd, apparently, on a small plate, and no one notices because of him. They're just gonna sit there and, oh my God, it's amazing. It's a little dry, is it? Is it? I'm not even sure. I can't even take my eyes off of it. I have a peanut allergy, but are these real peanuts? I don't think.
For our faith, for freedom, for everything.
It is the most important election in our lifetimes by far. If we have another 4 years of Joe Biden, this wannabe dictator-in-chief, America will cease to exist. We need to...
Yep, it's not going to happen anymore. America's that weak. Yeah. I know most of you thought, wait, wasn't the black guy supposed to ruin the place? No. Nope. Even the black guy couldn't do it yet. Only Joe Biden has the power to destroy America if we don't let Trump do it. I think that's how it works.
Vote like our lives in this great nation truly depend on it. We are seeing the weaponization of our Department of Justice against a leading political opponent. These are things you see.
Or you've seen a guy run for office because he thinks that gets him out of a fucking speeding ticket.
And hear about in communist regimes such as Cuba and Venezuela, not here in the United States of America. And
well, I mean, he is getting an actual trial and representation and stuff. There's no like kind of stockade or anything.
The truths are starting to be revealed about the greatest political corruption scandal in American history.
Oh, super exciting. Yes. What is the greatest political corruption scandal ever? Let's hear it.
Biden accepting bribes from foreign nationals.
For what? I got you. Let's just bring it. Millions of dollars. The Bidens took in millions of dollars in exchange for what? Because for it to be a bribe, would it doesn't involve, like, if it otherwise they're just throwing money everywhere, and they just managed to get some on him.
Up shell companies when he was vice president, selling out every single American citizen and voter. That's
every single one of us sold us out for communist something. For what? What did he get the money for? What did the other people get in exchange for the money? Please tell me. What right or privilege as an American did I lose? Because, and I'm not giving you that the money was actually paid, but let's just say it did. For what?
That's what's at stake in this election, is obliterating the deep swamp. Donald.
Yes, obliterating the deep swamp. That's new. It's the deep swamp. And it is. It's so like it's a deep swamp in so many ways.
Trump talks about that all the time.
He does talk about the deep swamp all the time. I'm sorry I've missed it. I think he talks about the swamp and the deep state, but I didn't realize they joined together. That's why he's having such a hard time, because the swamp and the deep state have joined forces. Deep swamp. Okay.
Never heard about the deep swamp until Donald Trump came onto the political scene.
You're right. I have never heard about the deep swamp until frankly you just mentioned it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because he's the only candidate that isn't owned by them.
100.
He's not owned by the deep swamp? Or do they loan him out, or is he's just like a business partner? Maybe he has a LLC with the deep swamp.
I agree with you. Also,
you do? You're just going to let the deep swamp thing, you're not going to correct her and say deep state or swamp, or you're just going to assume she's right? Well, I mean, so that's why she gets paid the big bucks.
2020, the Democrat playbook was, hey, let's do these mail-in ballots with this COVID thing. Now the playbook is the indictment thing. I mean, do you see how much they're hating the truth?
They hate.
They hate the truth. They hate the truth that Trump admitted that he committed a crime, or that he lost fair and square. So true.
Hate the truth. They can't stand the truth, and they can't stand the fact that the American people are backing President Trump, because we see the truth through the lies of CNN and all of the big corporate mainstream media that pushed and propagated the Russia hoax, had Adam Schiff on television.
You got him nodding. You got to just keep rolling. The Gish Gallop's working.
Every single night he was lying to the American people. Donald
No, he wasn't.
Trump was right. There was never any collusion with Russia.
Yes, there was.
That was a $30 million scheme by the Democrats that we paid for, by the way. The tax.
No, actually, the money that was seized, including money from Manafort and others, actually paid for the Mueller investigation. Technically, the Mueller investigation made money.
Taxpayers, we funded the Russia hoax.
Nope.
And shame on all of the Democrats and all of the hacks in the media who pushed
You go into the box and you sit for 2 minutes and you feel shame.
forward. Donald Trump was right on that. He will be right on this hoax classified documents indictment that
This hoax classified documents, are the classified documents the hoax, or the indictment is a hoax, or it's just they're indicting him for a classified hoax? I'm very confused.
Merrick Garland and Joe Biden are hell-bent on because they want to distract from the real crimes of the corrupt Biden crime family.
Such as, now, I'm just saying, now would be the perfect time to go, like, this payment that they got to do this, that destroyed this, so we couldn't do this, and America paid for it because of this. See how easy that would be? Like, if you had, I mean, obviously I don't know what you would fill in those, the quo part of the quid pro quo. I don't know what you would fill that in with. I just don't know why you don't. You know, it's kind of like when Rudy Giuliani was always talking about his affidavits, and he's got thousands of affidavits. And I was like, why don't you just sit there and just read them like an audiobook? If people are standing by what they say, if they say what you say they say, why don't you just say what they say instead of talking around them? Just say that. Just take a pile of them and go, here's one from Joe Cinciarone from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I tried to vote twice for Trump, and they would only let me vote. That goes on the bottom of the pile. This one is from Marge Tululami from the Villages in Florida. Great place, great Trump country, saying, I voted 4 times for Trump, and only one of them counted. You know what? Let's see if we got another one here. I was told I wouldn't be allowed to vote for Trump a 3rd time, and that's a violent shit. Okay, we'll be back right after this word from Golden Cigars.
And Karoline, can you tell me a little bit about yourself when you started out in this whole thing called politics, right?
Yeah, because you obviously have been in this game for decades.
What were you doing, and then why did you switch over to...
Why did Trump pick you in particular to be a part of it? And how did he pick you? Did he just... Did he walk up and there was like a grabbing, or
do what you're doing?
Sure. Well, I started out actually way back when as an intern in Donald Trump's White House in his...
You don't say.
First administration. I was...
So you worked for free for him? Okay.
Offered a full-time job, took it. Then I moved over. I, of course, lost my job with the rigged election of 2020. Then
he lost his election. You lost your job because he lost his election. But yeah.
I moved over to Capitol Hill for a little bit, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to come back to my home state of New Hampshire and run for office, which I did. We had an enormous victory in our primary last year, a 10-point victory against the establishment. I was outspent, but we were not outworked. We won. Unfortunately, our Democrat congressman is still in D.C. right now, but I am very focused now as the spokeswoman for MAGA Inc. to ensure...
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't get further in that one. I don't. So did you run on a elections or lies ticket, and so you had a hard time turning out your base to vote for you because they didn't think they could trust the election? I know your vote's going to be stolen, but come out and have it stolen from me. It's a great sales pitch. It's awesome. I didn't, seems like an uphill battle. Seems like a reach.
President Trump gets back in that White House, and we can make America great again.
Are there any networks that are the liberal legacy media? Do they contact you? Do they want you on? Do they try and debate you now?
Not yet. We've reached out to a few.
Really? I don't understand why. She's magic. I feel like I've learned a lot just listening to her, but luckily RSBN is letting her on, and yeah.
Few of them, they haven't put me on, so we'll have to see about that. I don't know why. We're just speaking truth right now. That might be why.
That's what it is. They just don't like the truth.
Exactly. They hate the truth. Finally,
they do. They can't handle the truth.
Can you share with us maybe a story
of why there's a turd on every plate in this place? What's with the turds? Why is there one on? Is that a New Hampshire thing? Are they deep fried? Is it kind of a fuck you Alabama kind of a thing?
If you were talking to the president or just around, I mean, his demeanor, he's such a strong individual, as we know.
Yes. Tell me how strong he is. Is it when he does his 1,000 push-ups first thing in the morning, is it true that his farts smell like lilacs?
Oh, can you talk to us about his spirit right now, like as he's moving forward, dealing with all...
Spirit? Yes. Spirit. Yes, he did, sir. What? Spirit, no, bravado, a touch of daring do. About 11:30, sir.
All of the things that the enemy is throwing his way.
I think it's stronger than ever. I think
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, this is the strongest I've ever seen him, especially that side jaw thing he does now. He seems so comfortable.
the past two speeches Donald Trump has given, one at the Faith and Freedom Coalition with voters that are the heart and soul of our nation, as he called
Almost literally.
them in his speech, and then
As he so he called him that. So that must be
again
true.
in Michigan the following night, where he was given the Man of the Decade award.
The Decade of the Man Award. I think, yeah, because every time you're around him, it seems like 10 years.
I think his speeches have been on point. You see, he's
Mr. President, in honor of the fact that any time spent with you, whether it's 5 seconds or 5 minutes, feels like 10 years have passed. I can feel myself aging just standing here. We want to give you the Decade of the Man Award. That's right. You're please walk away. I'm aging like Benjamin Button.
determined. He knows the stakes, right? The stakes are high. We are either going to succumb to the Biden regime and become a communist nation, or
Or I have an aneurysm? What? I don't understand. What communism? What are you talking about? Honest to God. Like, they're not even socialist. What are you talking about communism? I mean, I appreciate that that's the fear monger at this point, but none of this is, yeah. Do they think full employment is communism? Is that what they think it is?
or we will reelect that man and make this country safe, prosperous, and free again. I know that's what I want. I know that's what so many Americans
Excuse me, I'm trying to get through here. I've got to place some of these fantastic salads on more.
want. We all have to do our
Dude, why would you walk? But why would you do that? Where are you going? Or better yet, why are they standing where they're standing? I guess this is they probably tilt up, and that's towards the stage where he gave his
part
speech.
to help Donald Trump vote and make sure everyone in our communities gets out to do so too.
This is a courageous thing you're doing. Is it something that you obviously you just believe in?
Courageous? She works for a PAC. What do you mean courageous? She's not dragging somebody in a wheelchair up Kilimanjaro to help them, like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The fuck?
And that's why you're doing it.
Of course, 100%.
That's right. I view myself as the warrior.
I have never believed more strongly that Donald Trump will win this New Hampshire primary for the third time and be reelected for another 4 years.
Yes. I've never believed more strongly that he'll win the New Hampshire primary for the third time. I didn't believe that the second time he won, or even the first time he won. I was like, I don't think, is this the third time? God, it does feel like a decade.
A 3-time winning president.
Yes, exactly.
That's so true, except for the big, well, obviously, when he was a huge loser in the general election, and he will be again. But besides that,
exactly right.
Karoline Leaviit, thank you so much for joining us here on RSBN.
Thank you.
That was Karoline Leavitt, a conservative rock star here in Concord, New Hampshire.
yeah, totally, rock star. I felt I grew as a person, didn't you? So let's recap if we can real quick, and then we'll jump to something. I don't have time to do this whole thing, obviously, but it's worth doing just because it's stupid. But I want to bring in I got to scroll this down. Our chat room. Hi, chat room. Like, subscribe, become a part of our family here at House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Join in, gather round, will you? And if you think about becoming a Patreon subscriber, tomorrow night I'm doing a show at Flappers, and I live stream it from Flappers to all of our Patreon people. And then, of course, if I do a show live and you're a Patreon subscriber and you're nearby, you get to come in with you and a guest at any level, no matter how much you want to help, like at the lowest level or the highest level. You just help out if you can help out. And if you can't, don't worry about it. But always also try and appreciate the people who do. So thank you to our subscribers.